Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to look at something that, honestly, feels kind of like real magic. We're talking about the magic of magnets and that absolutely fascinating invisible pulling power they have. Using some structured experiments, we'll be breaking down exactly how this incredible force operates in our world.
So I want to start off by asking you a super simple question. Do you want to see some invisible magic? Just picture a classic, giant, U-shaped horseshoe magnet. What makes this thing so spectacular is its ability to manipulate other stuff without ever actually touching it. I mean, it literally pulls objects right through thin air. How cool is that?
And that brings us to the core concept here, magnetism. It's an invisible force that can pull certain things without touching them. The key word you really need to focus on is invisible, right? We can't see the force field itself, but we can absolutely observe its tangible effects on the physical world around us.
Section 1. The Sticking Game.
So, will a magnet stick to a plastic toy block? If we take our giant horseshoe magnet and lower it right down to a brightly colored block, what do you think is going to happen? Take a guess.
Nope. You can almost hear the sad womp womp in the background. Magnets do not stick to plastic. They also totally ignore wood and cloth. It's like the invisible force field just passes right through them as if they aren't even there.
But hey, let's run another variable here. What about a shiny metal spoon? If we swap out that unresponsive plastic for something metallic and smooth, does the rules suddenly change?
Look at that. Clink. It sticks. The very moment that horseshoe magnet gets close, the spoon literally leaps up through the air and grabs onto it with this highly satisfying sound. And you know, it's not just spoons doing this. If we were to test a metal paper clip, a metal key, or a little metal nut, we would witness that exact same leap and hear that exact same satisfying clink every single time.
We actually have a specific scientific word for materials that react to this force, and that word is magnetic. When something successfully sticks to a magnet, specifically certain metals like iron or steel, we call it magnetic. So this invisible power isn't just some universal force that grabs absolutely everything. No, it's actually highly selective.
And this brilliantly illustrates the clear boundary of a magnet's power. On one side, we have our verified magnetic items, iron, steel, keys, and spoons. And on the flip side, we have non-magnetic items like plastic, wood, and cloth. It basically gives us a perfectly mapped out understanding of where this power actually functions out there in the real world.
Moving on to Section 2, Push and Pull.
Put two different poles together and zap. When you bring a red end near a blue end, so that's a north pole near a south pole, they just snap together instantly. That invisible force yanks them into a tight bond way faster than you can even blink.
Now we have a very precise scientific name for that rapid-fire connection. Attracting. This is just when magnets pull together super fast. Different poles are literally irresistibly drawn to one another. It's really the ultimate expression of that invisible pulling power.
But what if we change the variables, put two of the same poles together and boing? If you flip one of those bar magnets around and try to force two red ends together, it is exactly like hitting a solid wall of invisible energy. You can push and push, but they will simply slide away from each other with this funny, almost bouncy resistance.
And that bouncy, invisible wall of resistance, we call that repelling. This happens when magnets push each other away, which is awesome because it proves conclusively that magnets don't just pull. They have an equal, completely remarkable power to push things away too.
So here is the absolutely crucial point we need to take away. Different poles attract and pull together. Same poles repel and push apart. These are the fundamental, unshakable mechanical rules of how pole dynamics operate. Honestly, once you internalize this logic, you completely understand the secret language of magnets.
Section 3. Keep being curious.
Okay, let's quickly review the incredible magic we just decoded today. First, we verified that this is a true invisible pulling power. Second, we saw that it's highly selective, sticking only to special metals while completely ignoring things like plastic. And finally, depending entirely on their poles, we learned that magnets can instantly pull together or powerfully push apart.
So now, it's time to take this knowledge and apply it in your own environment. Can you find some safe magnets on your refrigerator? I highly encourage you to go explore a bit. Grab a fridge magnet and actually feel that invisible force for yourself. Go ahead and test it against a plastic cup versus a metal spoon, and feel that satisfying snap of attraction right there in your own hands. The quote goes, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep being curious, because that is exactly how we figure out the magic of the world around us. But you know, it really leaves you wondering, if this incredible invisible force is pulling and pushing everyday objects right there in your kitchen, what other invisible forces are shaping our vast universe right under our noses? Just some food for thought. Keep asking great questions, and thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today.